All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend and hope you're having an amazing morning. So, good morning. Welcome as we.
I think your volume is exceptionally low, Carlos.
Oh,
But
it is.
let me see if it's just me or if it's everybody. Okay, if it's just me, then all right.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. All right. Cool. All right. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Okay. All right. Excellent, guys. Welcome another week of trading. An exciting morning already. As we can see, we got a lot of action happening here, and we have a lot of cool stuff today that I'm excited about for our community. So, looking forward to the announcements. I got a sneak peek of that today from Norm. So, looking forward to that. And let's get into it, guys. Again, another great week here as we get going. Let's look at what the SPY is doing. Obviously, a lot of action there. Let's get into our market pulse, and Norm can give us an update on what's happening there.
Yeah, guys. So right now we're down a little bit, just 0.7% on the SPY starting out. Futures started out lower last night. I think a lot of it had to do with Berkshire Hathaway had their annual meeting, and obviously we hit some resistance levels last week, started pulling back the last few days after a real nice ride up. But Berkshire had their meeting, and we're going to get into a little bit of that because some of the sectors involved are sitting there in play today. So we'll comment more on that in a minute. But that having been said, we've got factory orders at 10 a.m., not a ton else other than that today. And then we'll have a slew of various economic data coming out throughout the rest of the week we'll discuss as well. So earnings are still in full swing. We've got a number of companies that reported this morning and are continuing to report this morning. And last week started pulling back the last few days after can you see the comments on YouTube with your sound?
Yep,
Really
I see it.
loud and distorted.
Yep, wasn't sure if you were done, Norm. I'll work on the sound, but if you're done, I'll start here.
Yep, I'm done.
Okay, excellent, man. All right, guys, so let's get to it on what we have this morning. Let's look at our gappers list. We have tons of stuff gapping up. Gapping down this morning with a few gapping up this morning. Some that we have seen in the past quite plenty. So let's get over to that screen. In the meantime, I see the YouTube comments. I'm going to try to fix my volume now, guys. Again, it's a challenge getting both chats to be at the same pace here. So I'm going to bring this down. And hopefully it's a little better right there. All right, guys, so let's look at it. Let's look at APDN. So give me some comments on YouTube. Let me know if that is better. APDN this morning gapping up here. APDN, here it is. All right, so we have a beautiful pre-market activity right now. This is gapping up 61%. It is a low flow stock, guys, sitting at 2.9, but I got to tell you, the pre-market is looking really good on this one. Some really good volume, 1.4 at the moment. And the best thing about this one is that you notice a lot when you have these low flow stocks taking off. Their pre-market action is horrible. This one, by the most part, right now has a great, beautiful pre-market activity. Not saying it's one that I would trade, but for the low flow team, this is definitely one that's looking pretty good so far right now. Now, this thing has had a few gaps up in the past before. Plenty of them selling right back down. So just be aware that it looks like you get a nice pop at first, and then it comes right back crashing down. So again, this tends to repeat itself when it happens several times. So just be aware that it is sitting at 2.9 million shares traded. So it is one of those stocks you want to be cautious with or avoid trading at all. Let's start over with CODX. This one, guys, is again just always in our gappers list. Has been very active for the last couple of days. We had a beautiful breakout here. Last week we also had a nice pop here going into a 14 area. Again, this morning we are up 8.4 with 377,000 shares traded. Now this is another one that is also sitting on the low flow side today with 15 million shares traded. CODX. So we'll throw this one on here as well. Next one, wow, CGC on here today. So CGC gapping up 6.8. We normally don't see this one on our gappers list, but today we got a nice pop here this morning. Pre-market action, though, not looking all that exciting, guys. You can see here it's very choppy. So again, nothing great on the pre-market at the moment. So 137,000 shares traded, worth watching. Let's see if this continues to get any better. Noam, is there any specific news on CGC today?
I gotta tell you, yes, on CG. Sorry, I had another one stuck in my head.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Codex, by the way, that was up on some reports that their COVID test they had is 100% accurate. I don't know
Mm.
how that's possible, but I guess a test they did for a test for the test showed 100% reliability. So that's good news. And the APDN was on news of a working on a vaccine that they've got going on. Didn't dig into APDN too much just because it's low
Mm-hmm.
float, and I'm not going to trade a 3 million share float company. But in case you were interested to know, on CGC, Constellation Brands, when this was in play, not long after their IPO, but came out, Constellation Brands liquor distributor uh, had taken a large stake in them. It really pumped this entire segment, and that's what's going on here. It looks like Constellation has increased the amount of their stake in CGC.
Gotcha. All right, guys. So let's look at CGC right now. Again, pre-market not looking all that exciting at the moment. Hopefully that can get a little bit better. Let's look at BIBILI. This one here, Billy. It is up 3.8. Not much happening right now, guys. Pretty dead. So again, I'm not gonna put this on up here. If it gets better, we'll look at it. But right now, it's nothing going on there. TLK this morning. This one is not
Garbage.
showing much. This is garbage.
Indonesian,
Yeah.
foreign, won't trade. Yeah.
Yeah, let's skip that one. Let's go right to what's happening in the gappers down list. So I'm going to scroll all the way down here to the ones that are gapping up in double digits. You got American Airlines, United Airlines. You have Play here as well. Let's start with Play. Play is Domino's, right? Is that do I have that correct, or is that something else?
No, that's no, it's Dave and Buster's.
Yep, yep, Dave and Buster's. All right, so they are taking a nice hit today, 16% down this morning, at 150 right now. Pre-market, you can see have a beautiful downtrend happening here. Now, Play, Norm, what's the news on these guys today? Aside from the overall market taking a hit, they seem to be down quite a bit.
Yeah, they've got a secondary offering. So
Ah,
going to be
okay.
dilutive to shareholders
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So, again,
Need some extra money to try to stay in business through this issue.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and again, secondary offerings, they tend not to trade all that well. So again, you're gonna have a lot of volume today on this, hopefully. But again, I'm just not sure if it's gonna be tradable with that type of news. Let's look at American Airlines right now. American Airlines is has a nice
I
volume.
want to say on plate,
Yeah.
it might be a little bit of a different case. I
Mm-hmm.
usually am
Let's bring it back.
100% in agreement on what you just said. But the thing about that on secondaries is a lot of times it's companies that take advantage of a massive pop in their stock price for whatever reason, and then they capitalize on that by issuing shares. Usually it's kind of a signal that the company thinks their shares are a little bit overvalued, so they're going to take advantage of that by bringing in some more capital. In this particular case, obviously you can see on the daily they're way down from what they were a couple of months ago.
Yeah,
This is the kind of thing that's signaling we've got to get some extra money or else we might not be in business.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it could be interesting on this one.
Yeah. All right. So we'll add him on that note. Thank you, Norm. So we got some good stuff happening right now. Nice downtrend. So we'll see the volume continues to pour in on this one. Here's American Airlines, and we got all the airlines coming down now towards this down 10% this morning. Let's start with American Airlines. Again, good pre-market action, some good activity. We'll add them all here, and then we'll look at which one's the best one. Here's let's look at American Air. I'm sorry, that's United. American Airlines here is also great volume, down 10% as well. We'll throw that on there. The next one is Delta. What is Delta up
I'm
to
just
this
going to
morning?
throw this out here
Yeah.
before you dive into these,
Mm-hmm.
because so you can get through each one individually. But like I mentioned, Berkshire Hathaway's annual shareholder meeting was over the weekend. They did it virtually for the first time, obviously for health concerns, and the guys that run it are what 89 and 96, I think. So probably
Mm-hmm.
best for
Yep.
them not to be in crowded environments. Um, but that having been said, uh, Warren Buffett discussed airline stocks, and he actually they had a big stake in airlines, and they started dumping them April 3rd over the course of a few weeks, I believe completely out of them, just saying that the entire industry based on this is changed and completely different than what he had intended his investment to be, which is just killing this entire sector.
Yeah, we're seeing that here. So, again, you can see the big hit on these airlines today. I'm looking through all of them, guys. They all look good. United, American, Delta looks great. JetBlue, though, JetBlue does not look all that exciting today right now. It's the lightest of the volume at the moment, and it has the worst pre-market activity. So I'm not going to add that on. I'm going to keep these three for now, and we can see how those play out as we get going here. Let's look at the cruise line CCL we have on here. It is, let me see CCL right now. What do we have here? Yep, here we go. So CCL is down 7.6, 1.7 million shares traded. So it's got the best volume at the moment. We'll add CCL on here. Next, we have NCLH, and NCLH is a good pre-market action. Great volume too, not bad, not more than CCL, but still a great pre-market action right there. Right now, so we'll keep these two on there. Then obviously we'll fine tune this a little bit better. We got some more airlines coming in here as well, guys. But let me look at RCL for the most part. RCL, not the best volume right now, down 7%. I'll throw it on here, but we're gonna fine tune those as well. Now, two more airlines coming in. We have Spirit Airlines, which is not creating much volume, not a great pre-market. We'll skip on that one. Another airline coming in is LUV, Southwest. This one with a lot more volume and a decent pre-market activity. Not as down as much as the other ones, but this one's still looking good. So I want to add this one on here, and we can take a look at that in a second. All right, guys.
Were you trying to keep save, or were you trying to keep love?
Love. Why did I put save on here? Did it not take?
Yeah, whenever, unless it's an individual catalyst for one of these names, I generally find that the Jet Blues and the Saves don't trade nearly as well. But Love is one of the specific airlines that Berkshire dumped. They were a pretty big stakeholder. There was even talk of them fully taking over Southwest Airlines at one point a few years ago.
Wow, yeah, that's you could tell here too that their drop compared to their last levels, right? So that's a good point you bring up, Norm. Yeah. Look at their drop, 7.6, right? But look where they're dropping below. Right, if you look at these other airlines, right, look at Delta. You know, they're not going below this levels, these lows that they had a couple of weeks ago, month and a half ago, where again, you know, everything was dropping. They kind of built the base. American Airlines pretty close, and we know they don't do so well. And United is right on there. If you look at Love, is the only one that's making a new low this morning, as far as I see. So again, good catch there. Let's do two more, guys. SPCE and Oxy, and then we'll get over into what you guys like this morning. SPCE, again, not doing all that much. Volume's a little bit lighter than usual. Just kind of chopping around. It is down 5%, but I'm not seeing anything great out of that. And then just want to take a look at Oxy, see what that sector is doing. Very active this morning, 529,000 shares traded, and you do have a good pre-market activity happening now. So this could be a good possible. Again, it tends to trade okay sometimes when the market is moving in a certain way. So it could be a good one today, down 5.1. I'm going to throw it down here as a possible. All right, guys, let's see what you guys like this morning.
Oxy reports tomorrow night, but also Berkshire took a chunk in oil, and he discussed that sector as well at the meetings.
Gotcha. Thanks, man. All right, let's look at what you guys have this morning. So definitely want to have this one on my list, just to have something in that area. And this seems to be the one that's down the most this morning. There might be some in here gapping down as well, but this one is definitely in here. All right, guys, so let's start over here. I see a lot of people throwing out BA. Let's take a look at BA this morning. This one, it is down 4.8, 678,000 shares traded again. So we got some good pre-market activity happening here. Norm, any specific news on BA, or it's just overall market stuff here?
Yeah, it goes along with the airlines, man.
Yep. So you have BA down here, guys. Again, some good volume, good pre-market action at the moment. Let's take a look at NAT. NAT this morning. NAT, I remember NAT had this nice pop here, sold off for the most part. Again, not doing much right now, guys. Just chopping around. This is definitely not in play. Not something you want to be watching. Again, this had his run, came back down here the last couple of days, just chopped around in this area. I don't see anything great, even though we have 268. Look how that volume. This is an example of the volume not trading well at all, and you can see that right on there. Let's look at CAPR. I think this was active last week as well. Same here, guys. I'm not seeing anything great right now. Again, made some good moves, some good volume. Right now, it's just kind of going sideways in this area. All right, let's take a look at Tesla this morning.
You got to take a look at Tesla, man. We cannot leave that one alone for sure.
Absolutely. Tesla, guys, I mean, we all heard what happened with our friend over there announcing we were too high. All right, so
He
when
went
that
absolutely insane on Friday.
yeah, so he announced his stock is too high, this thing continues to plummet, and is able to find some kind of support here. Again, I just don't get the madness from him, but it is exciting to follow. So right now, pre-market guys, you don't have a lot of volume. We've seen greater volume from Tesla before, but you do have a nice range happening here. And what I like about it is that you're at this level of possible support at 680. So Tesla is definitely on our list. We'll definitely be taking a look at how that is going to trade today.
I want to see what the SEC does to Elon Musk.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how he gets away with the type of stuff he does. G,
Well, he's not. Well, I don't think he will.
yeah. So
He's
here,
already been in trouble and had, penalties and everything else. I think he's going to get slammed on that one.
yeah. I mean, it's just the conflict of interest. I mean, think about it. I remember we were texting back and forth over the weekend or on Friday. Maybe some of his friends forgot to get in long at around, at a good price. Like, you just can't do that type of stuff. All
You
right, so
can't be a director. Some people are talking about, somebody said Warren Buffett moves the market when he talks, or for telling the truth. It's great, but there's a couple of issues there. I'll just be real quick on this.
yeah.
You're a director and an insider in a company, and you're doing one thing to admittedly either pump or slam your own stock. They frown upon that. Not only that, but who in the hell wants to invest in Elon Musk's companies if he's going to do stuff like that? He's
Right,
got a lot of
right.
people, and I mean, highly tradable. Andrew took a great short on it on Friday,
Yeah,
but
yep.
you got to remember that the entire purpose of the stock market is for companies to raise capital. Therefore, you had people that took risk on your company, and you just slammed them.
Yeah.
It
Doesn't make
so
any sense. Any sense. All right, guys. So we have this one here, GNMK, guys. I'm not seeing anything greater and no volume. Again, it's just not a stock you want to be involved in. So I'm going to skip on this one. Let's scroll down. What do we have? Guild. Let's take a look at Guild. What is that up to? That's been pretty wild over the last couple of days. Look at this daily, guys. I mean, gapping up, comes down, gaps up again, comes right back down. I mean, it's really just all over the place in the intraday. It's in a daily action itself. Right now, pre-market activity's got some volume on it, but not anything all that great. We definitely have some other ones that are looking a lot better than this one. But this is fun to watch, man, because the way the news comes out on this and the way it's been affecting it, it's been interesting to see for the most part. But again, right now I'm not seeing anything great on this, guys. Pretty much flat at the moment this morning. Zoom, another one that has been pretty active over the last couple of days. Zoom's trying to find some kind of a base here around an area where they had some support before. Obviously, it took a huge hit down here with some crazy intraday action we saw a couple of days ago, and now we're kind of bouncing back a bit. So pretty much flat at the moment, but they're slightly up given that the markets are down, which is good for Zoom, right? When the markets, usually the markets are going down because of the coronavirus and the way that's affecting things. This can help Zoom a little bit if it's going to extend stuff in place or whatever happens, right? So they're up a little bit here, not by much, guys, but overall I like where they're sitting here. So definitely going to put Zoom on our list. Again, tough stock to trade. Sometimes we want to be very careful on this one. All right, guys, let's take a quick look at YouTube, see what you guys have. I'll pick a few out of here. Let's take a look at Uber. Uber this morning, not much happening, but oh no, hold on, that's the wrong. No, that's the right one. Uber. So not much going on with Uber right now. They are down 3%, but their pre-market seems pretty flat. They dipped below this area of resistance we had a couple of days ago. Remember, guys, we talked about this here, and the nice breakout it had, came back down, found support there. Now we're below that, so that's interesting. But overall, the pre-market right now is pretty light on volume, only 50,000 shares. Again, so I'm going to be skipping on that one. You know what? It could be a good possible if it does lose some levels here. It could be a good possible, but right now it's definitely not in our main list at the moment. Andy, CODX we have, so thank you for that. Gold, we don't usually look and trade gold. We have it on here. Again, it's not one we keep on our list to really take a trade on. NCOH, Mike, we do have. Again, these are all going to be interesting. All these cruise lines and airlines will pick the best two or one out of both, whatever the case may be. But they're all very active this morning, taking a big hit. These guys are going to be in play. I expect to see a lot of volume and some good pre-market action out of them. Let's take a look at Disney. I saw that in both chats. Disney this morning down 3.4. Again, decent pre-market activity, not great volume at the moment. Holding on to some area of support, looks like in here. We can come back to this one, guys. I'm going to throw it on here. Not the best right now, but we can come back to it. All right. Yes, Elizabeth, we do have Delta. Delta's on here, guys. So here's our list of the stuff we have. So if it's already on here, guys, we are going to go over it again in details when we do levels after announcements, which we are going to get into now. So, Norm, I'll bring it over. I know we have some great, interesting stuff here coming up. So let's go to community announcements.
Yeah, so just our normal weekly rundown here. It is Monday. We've got Brian and his swing trade discussion in the afternoon, 2:30. He's also part of the Market Close show. We'll talk about that in a second. Also, you've got Class 1 onboarding tonight at 8 p.m. So when I go through and mention the intro membership toward the end, that's Class 1 that you can take, kind of get a feel for BBT and everything else that's included in that. Tuesdays, Thursdays, we've got Eamon's trade review in the classroom at noon. And then on Wednesday, we'll have our success webinar time. Our normal time is 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. Guys, super excited to announce this. We've been working on it for a little while. We have officially launched the Bear Bull Traders podcast, Talk with Traders. So if you go to your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, Captivate, iTunes, Overcast, yada, 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 if you search Talk with Traders, you will find it and you can subscribe to it. We have launched this with a couple of our recent conversations we've had, for instance, with Steenbarger and Mike Bellafiore last week. That's on there, but we should have fresh content coming on here that'll be exclusive to the podcast very, very soon. So like I said, just search Talk with Traders on any of your favorite podcast platforms, and you'll be able to find that. Success webinars. Andrew's going to be doing a success webinar this week, 8 p.m. in the webinar room. He's going to be talking about how he uses moving averages in his very short-term trading strategies. And then next week is creating a business plan, a trading business plan with our own Mike B. He will be 8 p.m. in the webinar room as well. Psychology Tuesday. Our psychology webinar this week, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., is going to be our in-house psychologist, Jonathan Katz, who we're going to have on the show in just a minute for some insight into getting yourself ready to trade for the week. But also, he'll be talking about how to maintain balance tomorrow night in the webinar room. Wednesday, it'll be Mike B again, discussing his Module 3, Importance of Discipline in Trading. And if he knows anything about anything, it's discipline, as 23 years in the Marines. Let's see here. Market Close show, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. Eastern. This has gotten really interesting. They dressed up on Friday, I guess. I missed it. I didn't get a chance to check it out. I wasn't in the house, but I think they were quite fancy, at least from the waist up. They also have earnings going on that they can discuss right after the the close. So great show. That'll be live streamed on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, you'd like to give it a try, you can do so at a discount with our intro membership. Use the promo code PREMARKET24. That will give you a discount on the intro membership. You'll have access to the classroom and everything for a week, including that Class 1 onboarding on Monday nights I was discussing. And it does not auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership. That having been said, we have our own in-house psychologist, Dr. Jonathan, and performance coach, Dr. Jonathan Katz with us. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Doing great. He is going to be talking to us this morning about how you might be able to coach yourselves throughout the trading day.
Yeah, the last couple of days, I've been reading some good articles about some of the top coaches have spoken about their coaching styles. And I thought, starting off on a Monday for everybody, it's important to learn how to increasingly become a better coach to yourself. So I just thought I would maybe mention a few good reminders that people can start putting into play as you try to manage through the trading day and coaching yourself through the roller coaster ride that trading usually is. I think the key factor from a self-coaching point of view is that you want to always stress the solution over the problem. In the moment, it's always easy to point out what's not working, to be disappointed, to be angry at yourself. But it's really important from a psychological point of view and a performance point of view to kind of lift your spirits and try to come up with a plan to fix whatever is not working at the time. In real time, trading is an ongoing process. So it's not like you can push the pause button and get away from a trade that's in play. You really want to be very timely in trying to find a fix to what's going on. So you really need to focus on your capabilities rather than your momentary shortcomings. Usually when things go poorly, there's a tendency for us to focus on the negative, on the shortcomings, but it's really important to really work in a very proactive, positive, constructive way. Secondly, especially during this time in this world, and with trading, which is filled with a lot of ups and downs, it's very important to be generous to yourself. Care about, again, fixing things. Don't try in the moment to focus too much on the shame or the frustration or the disappointment that comes with kind of momentary failure. Failure, a loss in a trade is inevitable, but the value is really going for it. And if you're disciplined and if your process is in play, you have to not be fearful of the repercussions of losing money in a trade. When the trading day is over, you're journaling, you're reviewing stuff. That's the time to really assess, see what worked, what didn't work, make the necessary changes. But in the moment, it's really important to stay positive, constructive, and think about the fix and not so much about what the problems are. That's the easy thing to point out.
Sounds great. Sounds great. That'll be really helpful for a lot of traders. I know it's one of the hardest things is to maintain focus, especially when you're maybe in a losing trade or took a couple of losing trades. So thank you very much.
One thing that I will say just as a final point is that the tendency, this is a harder thing to do if you come out of the gates on the losing side when things are not going well. It actually is even more important to slow yourself down, calm yourself down, step back a little, take a kind of a more objective look about what you need to be doing. When things are going well, it's easy to feel good about yourself. I mean, you got to get a little, as they say, you don't want to smell yourself too much and get a little too full yourself and chesty, because that's where overconfidence comes in. But when things start to go south, there's a tendency for people to rush, make kind of impulsive trading decisions. There's a lot of triggers for over trading and a lot of other things. So that's when you need to slow down, calm yourself down, think positively, constructively, and think about ways to get back on track without becoming too frustrated or too much negative self-talk about what you've done wrong just in the moment.
For sure. For sure. I personally find leaving the house for a little bit, if I'm having a particularly rough day, resets me. So I can't even think about trading. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 30 minutes, come back and decide to trade after that or not. It's a really big help. So thank you, sir.
Norm, what I would say about that is taking a break. I'm very a big proponent of it. The one qualifier I will say is that, let me just use as an example. I've had people who've taken a break, being pissed off, angry, come back and start trading again with the same pissed off, angry feeling. So use the break constructively, like Norm said, to kind of slow yourself down, get yourself in a kind of reset from a mind space, comfort level. Think more positively and constructively. If you just use your break time to vent anger and frustration and you come back to your desk and to your computer trading with the same anger that you left it, it's going to have those problems continue. So to use that time and that break positively, constructively.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Dr. Katz.
Okay, you guys have a good day and good luck to everybody this week. Speak to you soon.
You got it. Take care. All right, Carlos, over to you, buddy.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Again, it's just amazing to have this segment now on here every Monday, guys, to have Jonathan Katz start us off the week right. So looking forward to having him on next week already. All right, guys, let's get to it. We have quite a bit of a list here. Again, an exciting list. As you can see, a lot is happening. Look at the volume on a lot of these stocks. Again, now that I mentioned look at the volume, someone last week on YouTube said I should get a shirt that says look at the volume. So I'm going to work on that. But great volume, guys, on all these stocks here. A lot. Look at the gapping down. The numbers are looking exciting. Let's look at the details, see what looks great and what does not, and we can get rid of some of the stuff that's not looking all that exciting here. Let's start here with CGC. At the moment, again, I'm not seeing anything great on this, guys. I'm going to remove it. Compared to everything else we have some really pretty nice moving stocks this morning. Let's look at Play. This one, could potentially be one in play today. They're down quite a bit of the news of a secondary offering, and as Norm explained earlier, this type of news can actually create some movement today with the way this being done for them to try to raise more capital here for their business. So again, we'll keep an eye on this one. United. So here's the airlines now. We have United, we have American Airlines, we have Delta, we even have Love down here as well. All very active this morning. We're gonna have to select the best one though. So let's see. American Airlines is good. Some great volume, more volume than any other stock. So for that reason, let's keep American Airlines this morning. They are losing this level here as well. So I want to keep an eye on that one. Delta Airlines also looks great. So I'm going to get rid of United. All right. So we'll get rid of United. We have American, we have Delta. And how about Love? Love this morning. See, Love is the one that's being really affected, as Norm mentioned earlier today. So I do want to keep an eye on that one, but I do not want to have 3 airlines, right? That's just too many to have from that field. So I'm going to get rid of American. Let's keep Delta. I like Delta. American's a little lower price. Delta, I think, is in the right price range at 21.50. You can see also here sitting at a nice level of support. So I definitely like Delta, and I'm going to keep Love for now. All right, let's look at CCL this morning. Again, I think you need to have at least one of these cruise lines as they're so active. So CCL, 1.9 million shares traded right now, 943,000 shares traded on it. I'm sorry. That's NCLH 940. I'm going to get rid of NCLH. I think CCL is looking a lot better, even pre-market wise. So let's get rid of NC. RCL is very light volume. We'll get rid of that one. And I think CCL is the one to watch today. So we got a good daily as well here on CCL. LUV we are going to keep. This is good. BA, guys, got a great pre-market activity. Also down with the airline, so I'll keep an eye on that one. Here is Tesla. Tesla again, just not all that great pre-market wise, but the daily looks very interesting, sitting at an area of support. So I definitely want to keep an eye on that one. And then here is Zoom. Zoom not doing all that much, guys, but definitely want to see what's going on with Zoom this morning if we're going to get any type of volume and movement out of this. And we got some good possibles on here. We'll get to the possibles in a second, but let's get some levels for what we have here. So starting off with Dave & Buster's here, nice level of support. Our pre-market low is sitting right at, right at 1089. Below that, you do have an area here sitting at a 961. We'll mark that down. And then below that, we do have 712, and all the way down here 576. So some pretty good levels off the daily. Towards the top, guys, you got plenty highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Here is Delta. This morning, Delta, as we mentioned, kind of making some new lows here. Low off the pre-market sitting at 2080. And that was the low for some time ago here. We had a nice level of support happening here as well. And also when we had the big initial first drop, right? This is the big initial first drop. We found support right in this area. So we're banging our head against that level right now. So towards the top, guys, we do have a high of our pre-market sitting around 2270. We'll mark that down. And then above that, plenty highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. If we were to lose this pre-market low, 2 levels we want to keep an eye on, 1996 and then also here 1912. So very two good levels towards the bottom. That was the most recent lows that we had a month and a half ago or so. All right, down to CCL. As far as levels, again, good pre-market action, some really insane volume. You know what, guys? If this one gets too crazy, I'm gonna add NCLH as a possible, and the reason is because sometimes NCLH can trade a little bit cleaner. If CCL is, again, it's just too hard to read with the price action and the way the volume is coming in. So I'm going to keep an eye on both of those just in case. CCL, we have our lower pre-market at 1255 at the moment. Below that, we got a great area of support over the last couple of days right on here. You can see how much great support we had on CCL right in this area, just supporting. Then we had the breakout a couple of days ago and back down to the top of this range where we've been bouncing, just banging our heads between this area. So low of the pre-market, great support that was prior resistance, and then the below that 1155, good support as well. And if we were to lose that, look at this one here, 1092, an area of resistance here and support here as well. So I like the way that's looking right now. Love the volume on it also. So here's a Southwest. Southwest is bouncing back a bit this morning. We're sitting at low of the pre-market at 25.82, trying to get going towards the top side here. Still down 7%. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days got you covered above the pre-market high. But towards the bottom, you really haven't had, in the recent times, what we were talking about earlier, you have no levels here, right? You really broke down the great area of support you had right on here, right? A lot of stocks have not gone below that initial drop when the market hit here and kind of found a bottom, got a nice bounce here, then you know, a little recovery, then back down. This one's below that already, so you're gonna have to go back probably quite a bit to find levels below this pre-market low. So I'm gonna look at let's look at a weekly just to save some time here and go back. We're going back to 2014 was the last time we were in this area. So again, just shows you how great
Hey, buddy.
airlines have been doing. Hey man, how you doing?
You've got your volume is extremely low, and it
Yeah.
just changed after we had Dr. Katz on.
Oh, it did. Okay. Yeah, something seems to happen when we turned him on. I'm gonna put up the gain, guys, but again, if I do that, it's just gonna get distorted. So hopefully that sounds better and is not killing everyone on YouTube and anywhere else. So all right. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So over here, we can see a level right above, actually right above the price action too. We have this area here around 27.73. So let's mark that down. And then below this, we do have an area here, 24.42. We'll mark that down here as well. So again, we got some pretty good stuff here on Southwest. But again, we're going really far back to get this level. We haven't been down here in a while, so it's great to see what's going to happen here. Are we going to hold this 25.82? This is the new low that we have made in recent times, or are we going to break down from that? Here's BA, guys. BA also has a great support right on here. So great support that we're slowly just kind of barely holding on to. It has been support over the last couple of weeks. Pre-market low sitting right at 125.34. But I like this level better than the pre-market low. This 24.26 I think is a more interesting level, so I'm going to mark that down instead. And then towards the bottom here, guys, we have another interesting level here at 116.17, and then below that we have 94, which is the most recent lows we have had once the drop came in on the market. So above pre-market highs and lows got you pretty much covered. Highs and lows got you taken care towards the top. Let's see if we're going to hold this pre-market low, or are we going to break down here on BA. Let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla right now, guys, sitting right at a great area of support, as we mentioned earlier. Let's see what's going to happen with this stock. Again, a lot of interesting stuff happening. We're our buddy Elon Musk over there. We have a level at 652.69 towards the bottom, and then below that, another great level down here at 583. Towards the top, I'm going to mark down the high of the pre-market, which is sitting at 714. So we'll mark that down. And then above that, highs and lows got you covered for the last 2 trading days. But I do like in between the pre-market high now and the high from today, the last 2 trading days, you do have a great area here of resistance and support. And let me show you what I'm talking about. You had a couple of days you're just banging their heads against this 735 level. Was not able to break that in the last in these 4 days here, and then you get this beautiful pop up, this beautiful breakout above this 735. So I want to have that on there in case we decide to go north a little bit here and go green again. That could be a good area where we can have some kind of a change in direction or loss in momentum. All right, let's look at Zoom. Zoom, it's not doing all that much right now, guys, but I definitely want to keep an eye on it. It's pretty much stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days and the previous day close. So you have plenty of levels in here. I don't think you need to add anymore and make this more complicated than what it is. Let's look at up here. Another level is a 151. Could be a clean level if we can break out of this. Look out for these moving averages coming in as well. But I think you pretty much cover on Zoom. Again, looking at this pre-market activity, guys, and the volume. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? Zoom is going to drop down to a possible. But it could be a very explosive stock. But right now, we're not getting that crazy, insane volume. Let's take a look at some of our other possibles. We have Oxy. We have Uber on here. We have CODX. Again, just be careful with this. I'm going to remove it, guys, because I'm not going to watch it on my end. We have APDN continues to explode. Look at this thing here. It's just going parabolic here. Now, this is getting scary. I like when they do the flow, they kind of hit, the moving average a little bit slower. You got some red candles in here. You're not getting that. So be very, very careful. This stock is known for doing this. Look what's happening here. Gaps up, sells back down. Gaps up, sells back down. Gaps up, sells back down. You'd have some little pops here at the open, right? Probably right at the market open, then drops and then drops again. So just be careful. That drop could happen at any time. Usually happens a little bit right after the open. You get a little nice run up, and then boom, you get a drop, you get a fake out, and another drop, fake out, another drop, and this is where people really, really take a hit on their account. So just be careful with this one today. It's sitting at 2.9 million shares flow. So again, cautious. I'm gonna watch it because it'll be interesting, but I tell you this, I will not be touching it. We have Disney also looking good, and we have NCLH as a possible if CCL gets a little bit too wild with the volume. They're sitting right now at 2 million shares float. All right, guys, that is what we have. Norm, anything that we missed that we can cover?
TSN.
Which one?
TSN, Tyson Foods.
TSN. All right, nice drop here of 6%. TSN. Let's add this on here.
Yeah, they had earnings this morning, missed on revenues and earnings. So obviously, in that, we've also got all kinds of news of processing plants being shut down and stuff. Doesn't have the most volume, but it's picking up a little bit. So I'll have my eye on it. Not the prettiest chart, but it has traded well in the past. So I have an eye on that one.
Yep, absolutely. And again, what I love about this one now is very similar to what Uber has, which I have down here as well, is you have this great clear area of support and resistance. I mean, this is very clear, guys. You literally lost this 60 level here. So again, once you lose levels like that, because what happens is, guys, people buy here, right? They know, okay, we bounce here from 4, I'm going to buy, go long, sell here. We're at this level again, I'm going to buy again, sell long here. And you got traders that will do that. That's their entire strategy. And it's very, very profitable. But once you lose that level, they bail. Like, okay, we didn't hold here, we're out of this. And again, this could be interesting when you lose a major level like that. You are going to get some action here this morning, one way or the other. So looking forward to see how that's going to play out today. All right, guys, that is what we have. We got a pretty good list today. Looking forward to this Monday. Look out for the airlines. Look out for the cruise lines. Keep BA on there. And we have some Tesla as well. Let's see how that's going to play out. And we have a good possibles list that could get going pretty active this morning. Take care, guys. Trade safe as we start this week, Monday. We will see you guys again 8:30 Eastern time tomorrow morning.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.